time for another story. And so, you and I have both started out with limited knowledge and kind of just built up to where we are today, and we continue to learn and build on the learnings that we learned from. And by no means are we done working for being better. We stand in a time where we want everything now, like you said. We need that instant gratification, and even if it does happen, when we get it, we don't know how to hold on to it. So I want to say again, Lorenzo McNulty, the guy on the other side, Nulty, you and I, especially you're astronomically different from the McNulty I knew even 4 years ago. So what advice can you give to the brokenhearted and the individuals, the veterans specifically, on the verge of what we call the fuck-its?
I know that cliff very well, and I'll preface it with this. This probably won't be the last time that you're there. All right, we all will get to that moment.
Yes.
Where it's like, it's just not worth the headache, the hassle, or anything like that. The best advice, or the thing that I wish that someone would have told me, is that there's hope.
There's hope.
And as long as there's breath in your lungs, there's hope. And as long as you make a conscious decision that everything that has pushed you down before is behind you, or you can get up. You keep getting up until your arms are tired. You've done it before.
Yeah.
In your military training, you've done it a million times before. You'll face worse things in there than you will out here.
Yeah.
So partner.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Get around other veterans. Get around veteran institutions.
Yes.
And believe it or not, get around those veterans coming behind you, because there's something about serving people that will empower you to go on and find that strength that you didn't think that you had.
Right.
You'll if you're not doing it for you or feel like you have a reason, and that's a thing that hits kind of close to home for me, is because I've known veterans who voice that thing, and they were older than me, they were younger than me, and I still found myself saying, hey man, you're more valuable to us here than anywhere else. You're valuable to those young Marines coming behind you, those young veterans coming behind you, because you've gone through something that they can use. They haven't gone through it yet, or they may feel like you felt during that moment that you overcame it. Right, and so just share that knowledge. Continue to share that knowledge.
There's it's that brought up a point. You had a talk some months ago about what we can learn from millennials, and I know you and I are kind of old school Marine Corps and kind of old school, just generational. But you had very good key points on how we need to kind of change our mindset. Just tap onto that real quick. I know it's kind of jumping from here and there, but essentially these are the quote millennials coming out, and right. we can't look down at them.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we've been trying to, I guess, stand in the gap for, is the looking down on the millennials and understanding that we are indeed better when there's a community of us, right? And just like we're in some embattled zone or some war zone or like that, the more eyes that we have on the perimeter, the better we are on the inside.
That's right.
Right, and we use that as an analogy to embrace our millennials, to embrace that fresh new knowledge, right? Because we, as the seniors, and that sounds weird to say, but as the seniors, we get trapped into a perspective, right? And we tend to think that we have this direction and we're going to go this way, even though we're learning, but we're learning in a specified direction, right? And that can create blind spots where we need those fresh eyes. We need those youthful eyes to come in and say, oh, hey, did you see this, or have you seen this? And bringing us back to that center to where we can help people. And a lot of times what we've seen is that, the older generations kind of write them off.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Hey, I'm almost guilty. I'm guilty, but I've had to, again, grow, right? So.
Right. We grow anyway.
Yeah.
And we absorb that knowledge. We need that knowledge. We need that perspective, that vantage point that the younger group will see. For one, if we're out here and we want to serve that community of people, we need insight into that community. And there's no purer place than from the community itself.
Right. The horse's mouth.
There you go. So if you want to continue to help veterans and things of this nature, or whatever it is your walk of life is taking you or you're on, that youthful group that's coming behind you is going to give you the best feedback for your mission.
That's you're a big reader, and if you were to pick one book besides your own and mine, what book would you recommend that transitioning veterans read?
Oh man, I am a big fan of The Alchemist.
Okay.
And it's not the most challenging book, or it's not the greatest novel in the world, but The Alchemist teaches you to appreciate all of your struggles, to appreciate your challenges, because how they say tables turn, or what goes around comes around. You live long enough to see the value in everything that you maybe have made a mistake through, or you felt like you were a failure, but it's shaping you for something. And the Alchemist teaches you about that story. Yeah. Like, everything has a purpose, and the world is speaking a language that if once you're in tune to, you'll be able. Will Smith talks about this, Oprah talks about this, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. It's like the list goes on of these people who we deem successful people. They talk about this thing, and the Alchemist puts it into words more clearly than any book that I've read so far. People say that The Secret is another good book to read about it, but The Alchemist makes it so plain, and it's so relatable too. Yeah. So that's the book that I would recommend.
And a similar book that I know you'd recommend is Think and Grow Rich. And yes. I can sit down and legitimately talk about the power of suggestion and law of attraction all day long. But the thing about, if you do read The Alchemist and you're listening to this podcast and you pick it up, do go into it with an open mind and without bias, because if you do, things like that can change your life. So kind of wrapping up, I want to ask just one big question. So I invited you onto this show because you are somebody that I look up to as a peer and a friend, as well as a veteran who had to walk through the fire of transition. So who's a veteran that you feel has made a comeback or has a comeback story that should be on this show?
Oh, man.
Because they're getting invited, so...
I've got a few different buddies on there. The person I keep in contact with most is Cap. Remember Captor? Yeah, Tom is he's doing some big things. Him and his wife, I see him all the time. We're friends on Facebook, so we exchange positive vibes every once in a while, and they're saying that they'll stop by Charlotte. But yeah, I like what they're doing out there, and they're helping people.
Good.
So that's a good thing.
We're gonna tap into you, Cap. So this is going to be kind of your moment to pitch what you got to pitch, to say what you got to say, to let it off your chest right now. If somebody owes you money, you can say it right now, and I'll make sure they hear it. So
Okay, I'm glad. So $20 is owed to me now. But
Lopez.
Right, Lopez, I will see you, okay? Well, again, my name is Lorenzo McNulty. I am the founder of the Wealth Academy. You can find me at lorenzoleads.com and at the Wealth Academy on Instagram, and I'm at Lorenzo Leads on Facebook and Twitter. So reach out to me. I love to hear from all of you guys with any questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts. I tend to find myself asking for those. But, yeah, thank you for having me, man. I greatly appreciate it.
No, I had a blast, and I know we had some technical difficulties early on, and people missed some good stuff, but there was more good stuff, and there will be more good stuff. I know I've already talked to you. I want to tap into you about some father and some husbandry stuff, because we can go deep on that. So
yeah.
But this is Lorenzo McNulty, the owner and the founder of Wealth Academy and Lorenzo Leads. He is one of the most genuine people I know, and I am glad to have had you on the show as my first guest. So for those of you listening, I want to thank you for turning in. Oh, that was loud. But I want to thank you for coming in and listening to us talk and bump our gums. So if this has helped anybody, just pass it forward, pay it forward, and let somebody know that you can come out of the darkness and stand on top of the mountain. So with that being said, everybody have a wonderful evening, drive safe, and until next time, this is You're the Vet.